This color palette, black, white, and red, is the curtains that Mom designed right before she took ill with dementia. And this is going to be the color palette for her tribute soap. Black, white, and red. Yes. It's going to be a Drunken Tiger Swirl, so there will be a striped element and there will be a swirling element. So, yeah, stay tuned to see how I do that. Bye now. I looked over and found out I wasn't recording. For some odd reason, it decided it didn't want to finish the job, so yeah. But in the meantime, I'm doing the tribute swirl, well, the tribute soap to my mom, which is a Drunken Tiger Swirl in white, red, and black. The scent is blueberry. And the color, the soap is already starting to thicken up. So I can't really go into detail everything that I was doing. So I'll put it in the description. I'm thinking I am going to need a tall, narrow, or a taller single piece mold, like a plexiglass or acrylic. So that way when I make this swirl, I don't have to worry about the soap getting on the wood part as I pour the soap into the liner. Because that's becoming a concern. Hold on. Yeah. Need to put that just a little. That I have to do. I needed the angle adjusted, but not necessarily that much. But I just removed the pins out of the Chester cat. So basically I'm just going to make sure I am very aware and not put too much pressure on it, because that will adjust the angle. Yeah. And of course my nose is itching right now, which is not going to help me. The colors are white, red, and black. The black is from black oxide and a water base. I had did a test batch. I was going to do a tripod swirl for that, with the black oxide being in an oil base. And it took completely over. So when we cut the soaps, because it was a tripod swirl for that one, when I cut it open, I'll see if the red and the white show up at all, because the black literally took it over. So that's why I decided to use a water base for the black oxide doing the Drunken Tiger Swirl, because those layers have to each be exact. We can't have it doing its own thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to put the black in that one time. Well, it's all good. You look like, yep, I meant to do that. Either that or I did put it in there and I just didn't remember it just at that moment. But now my back is starting to get tight. So I'm not really thinking about format. I'm thinking about how soon can I get this done with so my back can get a break, because I'm going to sit down. Yeah. Oh, I see what happened. The black actually took over that section, so when I poured the extra in there, it looked like it didn't get it. As long as I'm doing it the correct format, it'll all come out in the end. Ooh, excuse me. And I'm running out of real estate again, but it's all good, because the pins have been removed, which means I can tilt it up more when I need to without having to take it completely off of the Cheshire Cat. Having the pins locked in place doesn't do me any good for this particular swirl. Now all the colors are starting to reach the opposite side. The colors are right here. So yeah. And then I'm going to just tilt it just a little more, so that way I don't have to worry about anything overflowing these boundaries. Gotta have this at the ready when it's time to do the drunken part of the tiger swirl. It's called a drunken tiger swirl because when you add the hangers tool to it, it goes from being a straight up and down tiger swirl to a swoop. It literally makes a swoop through the middle of it. Anybody that's seen the one that I posted on Etsy will understand what that means. If not, just wait till we cut this and then you'll get it. Wipe off the overflow there. I figured out that if I wipe off the overflow in the middle of the black oxide, then it looks like I did it on purpose. If I wipe off the overflow with the white or the red, then it looks like a mistake, because the black tends to take over. Yeah. Literally, I'm just scooping the black into where it's leaking out at. So now we'll just go this way. A little more. I know it looks like I'm stopping at the start of it, but what happens is you have to line it up, then start to pour, and once it comes out, then you move. So while it's being lined up, it hasn't poured out any. So when it does pour, then you move. Otherwise, you'll pour it right into the middle of the liner, which won't do you any good. You want the soap to pour on the inside of the liner, not on the liner, which is why you have to time it that way. There you go. Man, this smells amazing. If you had told me blueberry smells like this, I would have said, because blueberry to me really doesn't have a smell. Blueberry, you know, I smell food. I don't smell, hey, this smells amazing. But when you get blueberry in the form of fragrance oil, it's like an overdose of blueberry. Almost a perfume quality. It's that kind of strong. But it's not overpowering strong. Okay, now. Almost to a flat surface. But 90% of the soap is done in a tilted method. And then when you run out of room, you tilt it more so that way it all fits. And then when it's all said and done, you'll be at a 45-degree angle, which would be vertical, basically. I know what I mean, even if I didn't explain it properly. And lunch is trying to rebuild, which wouldn't be bad, you know, except for I just had dinner. And it's trying to take everything with it. I still stand by the statement that if you're going to soap, make sure that you have a full stomach first, though. Because there's nothing worse than trying to soap on an empty stomach, stomach's growling, you can't concentrate anymore because your stomach is trying to call the shots while you're trying to or try to perform a complicated swirl. So even if you had to stop because your stomach's doing topsy-turvy type things, that's better than soaping on an empty stomach. Oops, darn it. Just bumped this thing. And I had called that as an issue early on. I said I was going to stay in between these two pillars, so that way I didn't accidentally bump into it, and then I did it anyway. So yeah. Like I said, if you have to scrape out the overflow, do it while it's in the black. Now I'm going to move this over here where I can see better. This is starting to thicken up really fast. For the most part, the blueberry has given me a perfect pour. But now that it's trying to thicken up, it's trying to thicken up very, very quickly. Give me a second. I need to get a spoon or something. This will work. About to thicken up a lot. And in my exuberance to stir it quickly, I just splashed my shield. Which is why you still wear a shield regardless. Goggles, shield, some kind of, you never know what's going to happen while you're soaping. And that, right where, I mean, look at where this splashed. That would have been in my face. By my eyes, where we don't want that. Yeah. So I ended with black. I need to start with white. And white is literally running out on me. I need to pour. Lean that up a little. Okay, now we're back to almost even. And now we're going to pour the red. Oops, just bumped into that thing again. So it made a crooked line. But I'm going to go, huh? What? I meant to do that. Yeah. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But I've noticed with the Drunken tire swirl, when it messes up, it always messes up at the top. So you could tell somebody, yep, I meant to do that, because the rest of it has the aspect that looks amazing on the inside. So, yeah. Now we're 100% level. And I'm still pouring on just this one side, okay? And that's the last of the white. But this is not the last of the red or the black. So we'll just continue on with those two colors. And that's almost the last of the black. Let's see what we can get out of here. Dribble, 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 dribble. Come on. You can come on. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Give me one more streak. Oh, that's done. Okay. Come on. And that's done. And the black that's left in here, we're not going to worry about that because there's no room at the top at all. So, yeah. Let me get to the overflow mode. Man, this spatula is shot. Well, different way to handle that. Better spatula. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it didn't overflow by a lot, but still. This is kind of done in an even format. So when you run out of one, you're literally supposed to run out of the rest too. But what ended up happening is when you run out of one, you run out of the other, then the third, you end up going into the overflow mode because there's no more room in the actual mode itself. So yeah. Come on, you can do it. Just a little. Yes, I be rooting for my soaps to finish the pour. Because if you're going to have an overflow, you might as well have, you know, one usable sample left. As you can tell, I don't waste nothing. Yeah. There. There. Now let's do the Drunken tighter. Now, all of it was done from this side at an angle. So when I do the hanger swirl, I'm starting on this side. All the way down, then up. And loop it a couple of times. And that's that. Actually, I think I'm going to put a little design on the top. Yeah, just a little swivel. I got finished with that just in time because my hands are now cramped. I have a magnesium deficiency along my other issues, and that happens, which means in about an hour I'm not going to be able to use my hands at all. So that's usually when I take a break. But look what we got here. Is that gorgeous or what? Yeah. And then that's the overflow, of course. And this has been People 7 on Twitter and YouTube. Apparently I have another spill right there. People 7 on Twitter and YouTube. People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. My soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, is located at people.etsy.com. My t-shirt designs, PurpleButterfly-people.tmail.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Don't forget to check out Purple Butterfly Soaps at people.etsy.com for all my inventory. Everything is ready. Everything is cured. This is the only soap that isn't cured and is not going to be. This is a family tribute, so that will not be for sale. This, however, will be for sale soon. Once we cut it open and see what's in there. That was the tripod swirl where the black took over. It smells like candy corn, which actually smells pretty darn amazing. I seen the little words candy corn on the thing. I poured it in there. I stirred it up and I went, that smells good. And then it gave me more of a caramely type scent. But yeah, it actually does smell like candy corn. So we're going to let that sit there. We're going to let that sit. We're going to come back in 24 hours to give it a cut. Actually, nope, that's incorrect. I'm going to gel those. Yeah. So once it sets up enough where I can move it, I'm going to move it over here to where I have a couple of towels at the ready. Wrap them up, gel them, and then let y'all see them in the morning. This has been People 7 on Twitter and YouTube. People elsewhere on the internet. Look at my hair. Oh, man. Sally's is still closed, but Sally's now has an app where you can actually order products from. I ordered 2 things of my hair color. So that will get done soon as it arrives. But in the meantime, as you can tell, I have very quickly growing hair. And the pink has kind of gone away completely. Big, long gray streaks. I'm still random. So Join me tomorrow for the cut. I don't think I'm gonna blend it at the end of this because this is already 30 minutes long. So the cut will be a separate video. I'll cut both of them at the same time. In the meantime, whew, this has been People of 7. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. If I don't see you before then, have a blessed and happy Mother's Day to all the mommies, all the step mommies, all the adopted mommies, all the mommies at heart, and all the mommies in love. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Bye now.